Cars have been around for centuries. From the basic Ford to the modern Lamborghini, people are engaged and have always been attracted to cars, more specifically, luxurious cars. In 1967, the first luxurious car was born, the Cadillac. People were amazed and the cost of the car was massive. But have you ever wondered the top 10 most luxurious cars in the world and how people can afford it? Before we get into the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe now. Are you ready? Let's get into it. At number 10, Mercedes-AMG S65L. This car, the mechanical makeup of the top-of-the-range performance version of the Mercedes S-Class limousine, is extremely advanced. Since this car has a leviathan of a twin-turbocharged petrol V12 that produces 621 bhp and 738 pound-foot of torque, you could argue it hasn't needed to. It's an engine capable of sending a 2.25-ton, 5.3 meter long, rear-driven limousine from 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 4.2 seconds. And that's before it's really settled down, found its legs, and got going, don't forget. And yet the S65 is still a proper luxury car with uncompromising ride, comfort, and refinement, which is why it gets a mention at the foot of our super luxury class rankings. It offers onboard comfort unknown to anything else of quite the same performance level, and its huge reserves of torque make it so effortlessly potent to drive that it's hard to believe how little you need to do to make something so large travel so quickly. The S65 isn't a normal car, though, and its chassis much prefers smooth, wide roads for testing narrower ones, the latter giving its air suspension and stability control a lot to think about. Even so, when in its element, very few cars in existence manage to seem at once so naughty and so wonderfully nice as this. Number 9. Rolls-Royce Dawn. The super luxury 4-seat convertible is a rare type of car indeed. Mercedes offers an exclusive deal, while Bentley has had its Azure drop top and now a Continental GFC. But Rolls-Royce has, at times, offered more than one 4-seater super cabriolet within its model range over the last decade. And while the convertible version of the current generation, Phantom, has yet to materialize, its equivalent from the smaller Ghost Wraith model Strata, the Dawn, remains very much a part of Goodwood's model mix. Number 8. Range Rover SV Autobiography. The top-rung long-wheelbase Range Rover has come a long way as a luxury car since the genesis days of the famous SUV upon which it's based. The modern SV Autobiography, hand-finished as it is by the Land Rover and its special operations base near Coventry, is a car that's now fully 5.2 meters long and 2.6 tons in weight at its heaviest. It was conceived to take full advantage of the embryonic market for super expensive SUVs and the high regard some have for the Range Rover brand, and it does so quite effectively, offering a choice of a petrol V8, a diesel V8, or a 4-cylinder petrol plug-in hybrid powertrain. The SV Autobiography is a strict 4-seater with lounge near chairs, around each of which you can arrange a fold-out aluminum tray table, while a sliding panoramic sunroof contributes to the remarkable senses of light and space on board. Number 7. Rolls-Royce Ghost. The Ghost was a line in the sand for Rolls-Royce when it appeared in 2009, the beginning of a transformation that looked the company's annual production volume from hundreds of to several thousand cars per year, using mechanical underpinnings adapted from those of the BMW 7 Series. The Ghost made Rolls-Royce ownership more accessible, only slightly but significantly so. The management's view now on the decision to use those BMW Group mechanicals may reasonably be imagined to differ so much from what it once was, since the next Ghost will move on to the same all-aluminum Rolls-Royce only platform that the Phantom and Cullinan use. While the Phantom is very much a car in which to be driven, the Ghost was intended as a car for the well-heeled driver, and its dynamic character reflects that. Slider-totter riding and more agile than the Phantom, partly by virtue of its more compact proportions, it lends itself more readily to the cut and thrust of daily motoring on traffic-clogged UK roads than its bigger brother. Number 6. Bentley Bentayga. The Bentayga has had an eventful passage through the Autocar road test evaluation process, being the first in a barrage of 100,000 euros plus super SUVs to come to market in 2016. We first rated it with a highly caveat or two in W12 engine form, and rated it higher still when Bentley introduced an Audi-sourced 4.0-liter 429 bhp turbocharged diesel V8 in 2017, which made exactly as much torque as the 12-cylinder petrol motor, but at more accessible crank speeds. Number 5. Rolls-Royce Cullinan. The Cullinan has been met by enough criticism of its design from all quarters to have set in aspect a sense that its maker has taken significant risk in introducing a car that some have described as awkward and unlovely, and others have slammed in even less sympathetic terms. But if Rolls-Royce's market research holds true, and a year's worth of confirmed orders is a good sign that it will, the collective revulsion of those who wouldn't have bought a Cullinan anyway will do little to prevent it from becoming a commercial success. There is certainly as much to like about life on board this car as there might be to dislike about either the idea or the appearance of it. This is a true Rolls-Royce, and among its dynamic strengths are outstanding mechanical refinement, unimpeachable ride comfort, and excellent drivability. Number 4. Bentley Mulsanne, a limousine that's singularly aristocratic, whose presence announces itself from hundreds of yards away, and whose agenda is all about serving the interests of the passenger first and the driver a definite second, may sound appealing in theory. But if you suspect the reality of ownership of such a car might not appeal quite as much, don't worry, because the super luxury class has something for you too. The Bentley Mulsanne, deliberately more modest and discreet in its appearance than a certain key British rival. The Mulsanne is a top-level luxury four-door that's grand with a small G. It feels less formal than the Rolls-Royce Phantom, and its interior ambience is more like that of a paneled smoking room of an old gentleman's club than the Phantom chandelier ballroom. The material quality, the luster and natural appeal of its wood veneers, and the tactile allure of so many of its fittings are second to none. A good helping of driver appeal has always been part of this big Bentley's motive character, and so while the Mulsanne doesn't ride quite as serenely as some of its closest competition, it handles and responds with more vigor and verve, thanks not least to its torquey turbocharged petrol V8. What results is a car that may not hit quite the same luxury high notes as the very best cars in the class, but you might end up using more often, not just for special occasions, but because it feels ready to enrich a wider range of journeys. Number 3. Mercedes-Maybach S650, the richest and most special car in what might be the most universally respected and admired limousine range in the world. The S650 is the modern standard bearer for all cars. To judge by appearances, you'd say it was at least as much S-Class as Maybach, and that's the result of Daimler's strategic decision taken a few years ago to broaden the reach of the Maybach mark by creating Halo Maybach models across some of its more normal Mercedes passenger car ranges. The ultra-rare Simon Cowell spec, at the same time consigned to history. The S650's 621 bhp, 737 pound-foot twin turbocharged petrol V12 is barely audible, and its dedication to comfort and good manners is outstanding. Number 2. Bentley Flying Spur. Bentley's four-door Continental Series limousine started off its modern life as the Continental Flying Spur in 2006, only dropping the nomenclative prefix that links it with Cruise's current two-door GT with its biggest overhaul yet. But the Flying Spur is now in the third generation, something that's not difficult to detect from the pro-recent attractive coupe. Cruise Junior Saloon also benefits dramatically from a new platform which bars. It also better insulates the fantastically opulent cabin from the road and provides the basis for G improved. Number 1. Rolls-Royce Phantom, the grandest and greatest luxury conveyance in motordom, was replaced by Rolls-Royce in 2017 and given a glittering 5-star road test welcome by our road testers shortly thereafter. Owners will love it at least as much for the extravagant statement of wealth and status it endows, and for the unmatched sense of occasion you enjoy when traveling in one. But while many won't ever know as much, the latest Phantom is also an utter joy and a rare pleasure to drive. Only 18 people in the entire universe have this car and was made for the Queen of England. If you guys enjoyed the video, please smash that like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. See you in the next one.